Hey Mastery Seekers, it's Agi here. I'm so grateful that you're listening to this podcast. And over time I've realized that these conversations are evolving from just listening to actually interacting. So I've created a space for us to come together and dive deeper into these conversations and the actionable insights to implement. I'd love for you to join us. Go to masteryseekerstribe.com. Welcome to Personal Development Mastery Podcast, and this is another snippet of wisdom where I select my favorite, most insightful moments from previous episodes. Today's snippet is from my conversation with Anjel B Hartwell, an author and talk show host, and it is about the 5 ways that we ward off wealth. 5 ways you may be unintentionally blocking wealth from coming your way. And also, what do we mean by wealth in the first place?
I think what I'd like to do is first give us a definition of wealth that we can work with. Because I believe that wealth is the sum total of all of the resources that we have available to us, and it's not just money. Okay? So I use the word thief, THIEF, as a mnemonic device to talk about these 5 areas, these 5 resources that we have available to us, because we are often stealing from one or more of these resources. And that's one of the ways that we stay disconnected from the financial aspect of wealth, but also from living a wealthy life. So the 5 are time, health, our imagination, which is a marriage of our intellect and our intuition. Our imagination is a marriage of both our intellect and our intuition. As a side note, when I started to have this spiritual awakening and was popping open, I walked away from intellect for a while to be able to grow and expand and accept my intuition. But I had to marry them again. I had to come back around and bring my intellect back on board again in a healthy way with intuition. So imagination, and then E is the ecosystem of exchange. And it's in the ecosystem of exchange where the money lives. But in that ecosystem of exchange, even there, so you could say it's 20% of this equation here, but even there in the ecosystem of exchange, it's not always a financial exchange. Like right now, you and I are having an exchange of our intellect and our intuition, and we're not necessarily exchanging money. So the ecosystem of exchange includes all of our relations. It includes all of our relations, right? It includes the air we breathe. It includes the food we eat. It includes the trees outside our window. The ecosystem of exchange also includes the people in our lives that we make relationship with. And somewhere in that mix, there's money exchange. So the money piece is actually really small in the overall equation here. And then fun with our family, friends, and fellows on the path. Because if we're not having fun, why are we doing it? Right? So those are the 5 resources that I feel make up my definition of wealth, and how I want to enjoy a wealthy life is by having all of these in not perfect balance, but balancing with each other in a beautiful way, rather than stealing from one to elevate another. And a lot of times, especially in the entrepreneurial space, especially in the spiritual healing space, I see people rob from their health in service to sometimes the spiritual mission, and sometimes in service to the money. And it's all like dysfunctional because they aren't actually engaging their intellect to structure things in a way that will be balancing for all of these things. So that's the definition of wealth. And then the five ways that I've discovered that we ward off wealth. Well, the first one is worry. And one of the things that happened when I had my spiritual awakening was my third eye popped open. I told you about that. And I started to be able to see. And I then invested in being able to bring all of my multidimensional senses online, not just the seeing, but also the clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, claircognizance. There's lots of clairs. And so when I'm working with clients, I can see or I can perceive what this energy of worry is like. And the energy of worry, in my perception, is like a dark, damp, musty smelling, gray, ratty old army blanket that's wrapped around whatever you're worried about. So if you're worried about money, you're literally wrapping the energy of that around money. If you're worried about your kids, you're wrapping that energy around your children, right? So as a conscious traveler on the planet, and one of the things I know for sure, Agi, is there's a whole lot I don't know. So let me be clear about that. But what I do know is I want to be intentional about how I'm using my thoughts, how I'm using my energy. So worry is one of them. Withdrawing is the next one. We'll talk more about these. Let me give you all five. Waffling is the third one. Whining is the fourth one. And waiting on is the fifth one. So if there's any of those that you want to go deeper into, let me just say them again. Worry, withdraw, waffle, whine, wait on.
Thank you for listening. You will find the full conversation with Anjel B Hartwell in episode 346. The link is in the episode description. If you enjoy listening and appreciate what we're doing here, the quick, simple favor I'm asking of you is to click the subscribe button. Until next time, stand out, don't fit in,